Yo, it's Mel from Rapp Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by rapprankings.com or search Rapp Rankings on your favorite podcast platform.
All right, we are back here at Rapp Rankings headquarters, our secluded headquarters here on Long Island. I'm here with Mel, and I'm here with our special guest, Jesse Fairfax. Jesse, what's going on, man?
Lie Moulz is Jewish. That was my Memphis Bleak introduction. How are you guys?
We're good.
I'm stellar. I'm fantastic. I'm ready to talk about one of my favorite rappers
Mr.
ever.
Fantastic, perhaps?
Yeah, would you
Mr.
say you're
Fantastic,
perhaps Mr.
long don't like
Fantastic?
elastic, yes.
Are you Mr. Fantastic?
I wish I was Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
Like that would
So
add
we're
so
here, Rapp
much.
Snitch.
Yeah, that would add so much more to my list of things that I've done to my legacy. If I was secretly Mr. Fantastic.
Wow.
Well, how do we know you're not?
Trust me, guys, I'm not.
I mean,
I wish I was.
If we A-B the voices, we could probably,
I wish I was.
So this is Rapp Snitch Knishes featuring Mr. Fantastic.
Yes.
In the flesh.
That is the song we're talking about. This is track 13.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I got my notes here. Whoever wants to lead off,
Well, here's the thing. This is what we got to do. Before we get into our ratings, I want to talk to Jesse about MF Doom and about food.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's go. I recently. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! Please go ahead.
I recently ran the album back. It's not my favorite Doom album. My favorite Doom album is Operation Doomsday, but I find this to be better than Operation Doomsday. The songs are better. I kind of prefer like the more just raw, just unfiltered. It was kind of like Operation Doomsday was like, is this gonna work? That I'm just trying something out, and is this gonna work? And then it worked. And to me, this is a crazy comparison, maybe, but to me, Doom is like as important to the underground as you can say maybe Jay-Z is to the mainstream. Like he's like the Jay-Z of the underground, if you will. I listen back and I prefer Operation Doomsday, but the songs on Food are just, almost all of them 9s and 10s to me. Almost every song.
Wow.
Now, Food for me is my favorite MF Doom album. And I love Operation Doomsday. But for me, this album was my intro to Doom. Okay. So it was the first Doom album I ever heard. And it's also, going back, Operation Doomsday, there's an element of it that sounds a little bit rough around the edges. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like you said he's kind of creating this persona in real time on Operation Doomsday. On Food, I think everything sounds a lot more polished.
Definitely.
A little sturdier in some respects.
Definitely.
And I would argue that this album, for me, is kind of him at his peak. It's got everything that makes MF Doom without anything that would come after this album that would water it down a little bit.
I can agree with that. A lot of people consider Mad Villain to be his peak. I don't. For some of my similar reasons with Food. The only gripe with this album is there are like 5 skits or something. I don't know if they're skits or what.
Yeah,
just in the middle of the album for no reason. And I'm just like, no, this... Yeah, they mess up the whole thing. It could have been one long interlude. It could have been maybe 2, interludes. I don't know. Put all that together, make one sound piece.
if they were split up amongst the album, would you feel differently about them?
No, it just
Instead of
throws it
all
off.
concentrated in like one spot?
It just throws them off. I think he might have had like a contractual obligation with whatever the label is. Whatever the label was, that Rhymesayers? I don't remember. But
yeah, it was Rhymesayers.
Right, he might have had a contractual obligation, like I have to turn in 15, 18, however many tracks were on the album. And then at the end, he was just like, oh, I don't have anything to do, so let me just throw some beats over just some random sound bites. I mean, they kind of made sense, you know. The part on the one where it was like,
what's funny is,
go ahead.
The first of the 4 beats, I believe Vast Air rapped on that beat.
Okay.
So, you know, you had that song Guinnesses on here also, this album.
You guys have to take a steaming hot shit on that song.
Doom's not on the... I'm not going to take a shit on it, but...
That is a 2 for me.
Wow.
What?
A 2? Hold on. Are you familiar with the rating system?
Yes, I listened to the Idle Wild episode, yes.
Oh, man.
It's not a 1, but it's a 2.
I think that might be the lowest rated song in this show's history.
The hook is awful.
Wow.
And
okay, see,
and
I actually wrote that I thought, I literally wrote, the hook is a rap hook success story, which isn't the easiest thing to do if you ask me, because I feel like writing a rap hook is pretty different. I'm not saying it's like an incredible hook, but in terms of rapped hooks, I thought it was passable. So you're saying this thing is trash? That's wild to me.
Should the MC on this song hear it? My apologies. Like I think she might follow me. I know we've interacted on Twitter. She's like friends with one of my friends. It's a horrible song. I don't know what to tell you.
My only issue with the song was the beat. I was cool with the hook. I was cool with the lyrics.
I love the beat.
I thought
the beat's the least offensive part about the song.
Wow.
Are you guys familiar
really
with Let Me Watch from Victor Vaughn?
From Victor Vaughn? Yeah, I know that one.
A much more superior song with a woman on it. Much more superior Doom song.
Doom's on that record. Doom's
right,
not
with
even
him
on
on
Guinnesses.
Right.
So all I'm saying is, if he has a song on this album that he's not even on, why couldn't he throw Vast Air on that one beat? You know, maybe do something like that. But either way, we're here to discuss Rapp Snitch Knishes. Doom is one of your favorite rappers, if not your favorite, right, Jesse?
He's up there. I have my top 50 list somewhere, and I don't know what number Doom came in, but yeah, he's in there somewhere.
Okay, so he's in your top 50.
Definitely.
I think we're all Doom fans here.
I'd say
so. Let's do it. Let's rate this damn song before we get into Rapp Snitch Knishes. Let's give our ratings.
Okay, well, I'll lead off. I gave this thing a 7+. So the plus, if you're unacquainted, it's like basically a strong.
He knows. He listened to that a while, all right? He's saying goodness because it's a bad rating. It's a poor rating for a song of this caliber. I got to give Rapp Snitch Knishes a 9.
Wow.
It's a perfect 10 to me.
Perfect 10. My God.
Look, I mean, I like it. I like it. It's a strong 7 to me. But you know, I have some biases here, and this is why. Number 1, I'm the biggest snitch I know. Number 2, I would see this before I was acquainted with MF Doom. Like, say, when I first started hearing about him in high school, it felt like I would always see a handful of song titles. It was like one beer, like, there's like another one, and like this one, and I would always see this, and I'm like, what is Rapp Snitch Knishes? Like, I hated reading it, and I was always like, what is this?
This because of we got the anti-Semitic Melvin Birch opinion being aired out live on Rap Rankings. All right,
not
anti-Semitic, anti-New York. Okay, we know he lives. He lives in the world of in the general area of those rancid beef sandwiches from Chicago. He doesn't know about a knish. Jesse, you know about the knish, right?
I know about it. I don't think I've had one.
Okay, so the knish, it's a Jewish delicacy. Okay,
Right.
and there's two different kinds of knishes. One of them is a circular knish, and it's kind of like a dough, like a bread, baked with kind of like a mashed potatoes inside of it. The knish that I'd say is the most popular knish is more of like a fried outer shell with the potato inside. And you get these at Jewish delis. You get these. They used to actually sell these out of carts.
Do they have them at Cat's Deli?
They do, yeah. Any deli, any Jewish deli you go to will have the knish.
Are they like
for sure?
$23 at Cat's Deli?
No. Listen, it's a knish. If you're paying
pastrami sandwich is $28 at Cat's Deli.
Well,
what?
I mean, listen, it's a
damn good pastrami sandwich.
It's a tourist trap, but
what?
Go eat your rancid beef sandwich from Portillo's.
Oh, come on.
Okay. All right, me and a fellow New Yorker are discussing fine cuisine right here. Okay.
It's a damn good sandwich.
Well,
the pastrami sandwich.
I think
from
when
Katz,
Sally Met Harry was
it's
filmed
great.
there.
Yes, you're right.
With Meg Ryan having orgasms over the food, Mel, you have to try it.
that's
great.
good.
Listen,
if you're ever in New York.
Especially if you got to get it once. You got to go to Cat's Deli. You got to keep that card. If you lose the card, you're in trouble.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You pay at the end.
Right.
You need a card to get in?
No, they give you a card and you have to like bring it up to the register at the end to get out.
It's one of
It's
those.
a whole
don't let you
process
leave.
so that they make sure you're
It's
not
a whole-
stealing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, man, it's that lit?
Yeah.
Listen, they're making
Still-
money hand over fist, but the food is of very high quality.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, it's delicious. But yeah, listen. Nobody cares about what you saw.
But
You
look,
saw the titles a lot.
I'm saying the xenophobia in me. I'm like, what is this knish? I don't know what this. First of all, I had to learn how to pronounce it. Then I'm like, knish is, Rapp Snitch. What kind of song title is? I just hated seeing the song title, which I know is irrational. But like, so for the longest time, I like refused to listen to it. Until I felt like I was ready to confront the song.
I think the funniest thing is, back in your rapping days, you had a lyric, "I don't listen to MF Doom."
Right.
And
Oh my
ever
goodness,
since,
why are we friends, Mel?
and the funniest shit is, ever since I put Mel on to Mad Villain, and he listened to Mad Villain, and then now he's listened to Food, and he's loved all the MF Doom he's heard so far.
Well, here's the thing. When I did hear him, like, for the first time, and, like, I don't know, it was, like, 2009, 2010, I was like, oh, he's cool. I like this guy. It was never I didn't like him. I just didn't want to listen because I felt like I saw so many other of my contemporaries and peers, laud him and sort of stan him. It's like, I feel like the more I distance myself from it, I don't run the risk of aping his style or trying to, it was just one of those things where it's like, all right, he's well-worn territory. People already stan MF Doom. So I'll get to him on my own time because I feel like
He's the guy to laud.
No, he is. And I was just saying that off air, like he lives up to the hype. Everything I've ever heard about him, when I sat down to listen to him, it was like, all right, listen, he's worthy of it. He's worthy of it. He is the myth that has been established about him. So I'm definitely not here to disagree with that.
He is Jay Electronica with a mask and a work ethic.
Yeah, look, so let me be clear. When 7+, of course, the plus, other than being a strong 7, means it could go up to an 8 one day. It feels like, parts of the song are flirting with like 8 territory. For instance,
I gotta be fair as well here, Mel. This is one of those, just like I was talking about on the Master Ace episode, this is one of those albums for me, but especially like this song in particular, this and Potholders, are 2 songs that are really like kind of like nostalgic for me. They take me back to a certain time. And at this time, I'm like, finally at the age where I can like go leave Long Island every weekend and go into the city, go into Manhattan and go to shows and go to Fat Beats and like just having more freedom to go out on my own and do stuff. And like, this is, one of the albums that was definitely the soundtrack to that. So I have very fond memories of it. And just the sound, like the sample on here, those, guitars that sound like very 80s. And Mr. Fantastic being a guy who, other than this song and a song on the King Ghidra album, haven't really heard any Mr. Fantastic.
Right.
Count Basie actually did a video recently on, what was it, like Facebook Live or Instagram Live or something like that?
Yeah.
It was a waste of time, but I'm a big Count Basie fan.
The video, he's like, why, basically he's like, why are you so interested in who Mr. Fantastic is? He confirmed he's not Mr. Fantastic.
It starts, I'm going to tell you who Mr. Fantastic is. We're going to get to the bottom of this today, and then it ends, I'm not Mr. Fantastic. I don't know who he is. I'm like, you wasted my time. Were you like just trying to gain clout and go viral? Huh?
Is Mr. Fantastic was one of Doom's friends who apparently decided that like 2 verses on Doom albums were enough for him. He wasn't interested in pursuing a career beyond that.
Is that really what it was? What happened?
No, but I know he's from Atlanta. That much I know. I found that out online.
Wow.
And that apparently he went off and just did a regular job, basically. Like, just went off and never pursued it beyond these 2 verses.
You know who Dylan is from Atlanta?
Who's from Atlanta?
I said, you know who Dylan is from Atlanta?
No, who's Dylan?
Dillo and Dylan Maurer. Great artist, but you know who Peyton Locke was?
Yes.
Okay, they work together a lot, and Dylan lives in Atlanta, so I'm going to reach out to him and see if he knows anything about Mr. Fantastic.
All right, we're back. All right, continue.
Yeah, so what was I saying, Mr. Fantastic?
Oh, that we have an obsession with finding out who he is.
Right. So, Mr. Fantastic, when I heard this album for the first time, his voice stuck. Like, I'm not trying to undersell what Doom does on this track, because to get a 9, everything has to work for me. But given that we've only heard 2 verses from this guy, I was wondering, like, if there was a project that he maybe recorded around this time that we never got to hear. I really just think, like, one of the great rap voices that, it's, and one of the great what ifs in rap.
Here's a what if conspiracy theory. What if Mr. Fantastic is MC Paul Barman?
No, it can't. How? No, and
we know that Paul has worked with Doom. I'm just being goofy right now.
There's no level of voice manipulation, nothing that could make him sound like that. I mean, that even surprised me when Count did the video. I'm like, bro, Mr. Fantastic does not sound like Count Basie. I don't hear the similarities in their voices.
And isn't MC Paul Barman white?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't think he would say can't stand a brown nosing nigga. Unless
fake ass bastard, you're right. You're right.
But yeah, I mean, you were saying like the Count Basie thing was a waste of time. I would agree. It's a waste of time if people wanted to know who he was. You got no answers from it. But I think the thing I took away, the message was that I agree with is that like some things should just be a mystery. Like let the mystery live. Like some things I don't want to know. Like it's better that I don't. It just keeps that lore alive in my head. Like I would say it's just one of those things. Some things I'm okay not knowing, the truth about.
Sure. I just think it's, there was someone who popped up. He had 2 verses. He has a good rap voice. We want to hear more, and we don't get to hear more. Maybe that's the appeal. Maybe that's what makes Mr. Fantastic so fantastic.
I'm not okay with it.
for instance, like, you know, wow, you know what I'm talking about here, but like, we watched that like Billy Joel like documentary or like making of like was that The Bridge, and there's a guy like in the studio with him, and he's just like this disembodied voice, like you don't even see his face. I don't think he's somewhere in the background, and they catch him as they're filming, or like the audio's picked up, and like you hear him say like, "I'll be unveiling the giant shark I caught," and we don't have context about what he's talking about, who he's even talking to. No one even acknowledges him saying
it's just
this.
Studio banter. Billy Joel's not even involved in the conversation.
Right. But it's like, it's such a bizarre sentence that I don't think anyone in the history of the world has ever uttered, other than that one guy. No one has ever said, like, what was the context of the conversation for him to even say, "I'll be unveiling the giant shark I caught"? Like, is he going to like a shark convention? Like, why did he catch a giant shark? What were they even talking about to where like, but it's like one of those things I don't want to know. I'm fine with just the thing existing as it is and just wondering about it forever. And I feel like this Mr. Fantastic thing is another example of that. It's like, I'm cool, you know, not knowing who it is.
Well, yeah, you're cool. You just heard him fucking 3 days ago for the first time. The fuck? Yeah, of course you're cool. You know, imagine hearing this album.
You just heard him 3 days ago?
Yeah,
you just had to hear the album.
I'm a whippersnapper, man. Like I said, I was putting off Doom. I think when I first like was reading
you doomed
about him,
yourself.
I guess I did, because I was missing out on a great rapper for like a whole decade.
This man's talking about. I'm just saying. You're saying, well, I'm fine not knowing what happened to Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, you haven't spent the last 16 years wondering who the fuck this guy is.
Well, I just gave you an example of something else that, like, I'm saying, and when
you're
when
talking about
these,
some dude walking around in the studio when Billy Joel's making an album, as
but
opposed
I'm saying
to
when
someone
it comes to these situations,
what if the shark guy had 2 verses on the bridge? Then we'd be like, all right, I feel you. What does the shark guy have to do with Mr. Fantastic?
I'm just saying some things it's cool just not knowing about.
Speaking of studio banter, quick side note: Have you guys seen the Future documentary?
Future documentary?
The rapper Future, he has a documentary. Yeah,
a document he does.
It's not worth seeing. Anyway, I take it you guys didn't see the documentary, and I take it you guys are kind of maybe in the same realm as me. Is not a big fan of the guy.
I like him fine enough, but I don't think he's he's the greatest.
Long story short, his engineer. Long story short, his now deceased engineer said Future was the next Michael Jackson. Clearly biased. And that made me say, I'm glad that guy died.
Whoa!
Get in there, Rapp.
The engineer died. At the end, it was like the documentary is dedicated to the engineer who said Future was the next Michael Jackson. So when it ended, I was like, yeah. We've had enough of that guy anyway.
Oh man.
You know what? This reminds me of the early days of the Combat Jack show before they had sponsors. We're gonna get them in trouble for Dallas Penn saying something crazy. Man. Jesse, you just
oh no, I'm nowhere near as bad as Dallas Penn. Dallas Penn is out of his mind. Should he ever hear this? I don't want to be Dallas Penn.
Listen, the whole free band gang is going to be.
Let's get back on track. Sorry, guys.
It's fine. That was one of the most lethal shots ever sent on this show.
I mean, listen, if the future Hive wants to brag about toxicity, okay.
I mean, hey, right? They can't really argue with what was just said because they live on toxicity. So I mean, yeah. Listen, anyway, I have back to the song. I'm on that wretched site, genius.com. And apparently Doom said some things about this song.
Let's hear it, but let's just make it very, very clear that genius.com should be retitled idiot.com.
Yeah, that'd be accurate. Apparently he was doing a double XL interview. And he said, yeah, That's another good one. I grew up in New York, so Knishes were a part of life. At the time I wrote the song, I think I was with one of my boys, and we stopped and got Knishes that day. It's just something that resonated with me. I had a Knish the other
It's a pretty
day,
good Doom impression.
and it reminded me of... Say what?
I said, this is a pretty good Doom impression.
I'm just pinching my nose and talking like with labored breath.
Well, you just came off watching that Red Bull interview, right, Mel?
Right. Yeah, the hour and 40-minute Red Bull interview. So yeah, he said, I had a Knish that day, and it reminded me of, and then it says the phone got mysteriously disconnected during the interview, and it came back. And so Double XL was saying, you were saying you got a Knish recently? And he said, yeah, recently, like over 5 years ago. Like over 5 years ago. He says, but to me, that's kind of recent. I grew up in a multicultural town in Long Island where it was part of our experience of dealing with different cultures and different foods and different influences they brought to the country. It's a funny sounding word too. Knish, words that rhyme with Knish, any aspect of that, how it sounds, how it can match with something in society. So Rapp Snitch and Knishes kind of go together. So it was easy to find a title. The challenge was coming up with good enough references to make a song. And so, yeah, that's what he had to say about that.
Your Doom sounds like a less affected version of Rick Ross.
So I had some Knishes about 5 years ago. But to me, that's kind of recent.
That's just funny, though. He said, yeah, recently, like over 5 years ago. But to me, that's kind of recent.
To me, that's kind of recent. So his concept of time is screwy. I love it. Just adds to the whole Doom aesthetic, if you ask me.
So do you feel this song is prescient?
Prescient?
Yeah, in the sense that, we had, of course, the very high profile, the 6ix9ine gimmick that just happened.
Rappers are still telling on themselves. Bobby Shmurda,
the song
6ix9ine.
Predicted social media.
Yeah. Rappers.
The song predicted like.
And that's why I can give this song a 9 and stand on that, not just based off nostalgia or I love the beat or Mr. Fantastic or MF Doom. It's a song that I think has proven to only be more relevant as time has gone on, as things have progressed, or rather maybe regressed.
You guys follow Retchy P on Twitter? He's a rapper.
I've seen the name around.
All this guy does is snitch on himself.
I don't follow him because I gotta be honest. I see what he's doing. And sometimes you gotta ask: are people laughing with him or laughing at him? Because he's
all he does is snitch on himself.
He's a wild man. That's all I gotta say.
He's a criminal who raps, and all he does is like snitch on himself because he thinks that that's impressing people. Or he thinks that's what his fans want to see. And
that's an easy way to get jammed up.
He's been jammed up, from what I understand, a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a career criminal.
Man.
Masquerading as a rapper.
About, do you see the perpetrator? Yeah, I'm right here.
One of the wittiest hooks ever.
I think it's a great chorus. I think it's great. Another example.
It's like a Seinfeld routine. If you ever watch Seinfeld, remember at the beginning of the episode when he'd be on stage?
Yep.
Like, what is the deal with these rap guys telling on themselves? The judge asks, do you see the perpetrator? He raises his hand and says, yeah, I'm right here.
What's the deal?
What's the deal? Yeah, it's like that.
And by the way, who's Mr. Fantastic?
Right.
What's the deal with Mr. Fantastic? He did 2 verses and went away.
Ba-doom, boom, 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 boom. Ba-doom, boom, boom.
Exactly.
Welcome to Doomfeld.
Doomfeld. Oh, man. Yeah, look, I'd watch it. But, yeah, listen, when I give it this strong 7, I'm saying there's a possibility this could go up to an 8 with time. Like I said, I've just heard the song now, a few days ago. So, and I've heard it like 5 times since that first, but like, you know,
Oh,
time,
the universe.
experience
Oh, you
will
just heard it
add
a
to
few
my
days ago?
appreciation of the record. Say what?
You just heard this a few days ago?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, welcome to the fold.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
enjoying my stay here.
yeah.
MF Doom is everything he's been cracked up to be, and that's rare. I feel like a lot of
He's-
times when the world
he's
gets to
amazing.
talking about, you know, people being
And,
great.
You know, to be fair, Jesse, I give this guy 10 tons of shit on this show and all our other shows. Sometimes about his ignorance about the genre, but I gotta say, when he gets around to checking out these classics, he 8 out of 10 times sees why they're classics. So he's not, as much as he may listen to Childish Gambino and other small
I really
penis
don't
rap
listen
on
to
repeat.
Childish Gambino that much.
We know at the end of the day, you know, he's a good man and he wants to do better in life, and we're trying to. You know.
As long as it's not camp, you're fine.
Oh, he loves.
No,
camp.
no, it's not.
Are you kidding me?
He's not, man.
He went to camp. He's what is he? 26 years. He went to camp because he said he wanted to experience camp. I said, listen, you don't need to do this.
This is very
all right.
untrue.
I don't think they got 23-year-olds going to camp, but it's all good.
This is
He's
untrue.
learning.
Do I even have a camp review? Okay, I don't. But no, camp. No. Look, my Gambino peak, the era, was probably from 2013 to 2016. Those were the 3 years where I was.
He's a perfectly good rap act.
Yeah. You know, that's how I feel. You know,
He's not a legend. He's good.
I feel he's a good rapper. I think he's an exceptional creative.
You know, I think he's a good rapper if we're going to allow people to call Kanye West a good rapper. Is that fair?
Vintage Kanye was good.
This is a debate. I'll see. We can
Listen.
I haven't said great. I said good.
We'll have you on for one of these next Kanyes. Then maybe we'll bring you on season 1 for College Dropout.
I'm not crazy about that album. I mean, I could talk about it, but yeah, I'm not.
Oh, well, see, listen, you fit right in with Moulz because he's ready to drop bombs about.
No, College Dropout didn't age well to me, but it's a good album. That's all. But anyway, Lyle, should we like contextualize Doom more for Melvin since he's like a newer guy?
Well, here's the thing. I've been reading about him for like a decade,
Right.
And then I would just do research about him, but never actually listen to it because I think I was just always waiting on a time where I felt like sitting. Because when I jump into an artist, I like to pretty much marathon them, you know,
Right.
like listen to everything at once. And I was just waiting for the right time to do that. But like, I know a bit about his backstory and you know, the different eras and evolutions. Like, I just recently made sense of his discography, which I thought was convoluted, but it's actually not that convoluted.
It's convoluted.
It is convoluted, but like I was able to, you know,
I'd say it's convoluted from a distance, but like I think what's
once
most
I
convoluted about it
you know, dove
is
in.
like really what's the difference between MF Doom and Mad Villain? You know, at the end of the day, the music sounds pretty similar. I mean, you know, Madlib produces Mad Villain, obviously. MF Doom mostly self-produces his own stuff.
Well, there's a big
Victor
difference.
Vaughn is a little bit more electronic. You know, King Ghidra, I think, is very similar to MF Doom, but there's more gets. It's more like he's kind of almost like a compilation sort of deal. And then everything, like, I gotta say, Jesse, we're not here to review this album specifically, but you're here to discuss MF Doom a little bit. So,
Right.
how do you feel about Danger Doom? Because I'm not crazy about it.
I didn't play it a lot. I didn't hate it. I didn't play it a lot. So
now that's
maybe I
the
need to
Adult
revisit
Swim joint, right?
Yeah. Maybe I need to revisit it, but I don't
I
recall
definitely
hating
need to revisit it because I haven't listened. I don't think I listened to it once in the entire previous decade.
Well, I was reading about it.
Yeah, maybe
And
not
I
for
heard
me
it's
either.
like highly referential. Like it's about Adult Swim cartoons.
You have to be an Adult Swim guy to get it, which is maybe why I didn't get it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not an
Like,
Adult
I watched
Swim.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and that was about it.
Yeah, like I poked my head in and out of the Adult Swim universe throughout the years.
I feel like having the
a,
characters on there is enough, Like, do we need you to rap about it too? Like, this is a bit much,
Yeah.
Maybe that was what Adult Swim cut the check for. Like, you're the biggest guy in the underground, so just give us an album about us.
By the way, they got some fuckhead working over there that thinks he's the shit. If we want to take shots, I don't even remember this dude's name.
I know his name. Yeah.
All right.
Why is he a fuckhead? He seems all right.
What's up?
I said, why is he a fuckhead? He seems all right.
All right. First off, already the big scam that he pulled 2 years ago with this MF Doom weekly whatever shit.
Well, did he pull the scam or did Doom just...
he pulled the scam. He's a scammer, bro. No, Doom is not a scammer. One thing we know about Doom, he's on the up and up with his business.
Oh, the guy who sends imposters to the show?
He's a villain!
Right, when it all fell flat, I didn't blame Adult Swim. I was like, oh, that's some Doom shit.
No, because I'm telling you right now, they never spoke to Doom. They had some records.
Oh, so your theory...
they tried to go into business for themselves.
Wow.
Yep. I'm saying
so you're saying
now.
Like Doom woke up and saw this. He's like, "What is this? I didn't agree
absolutely.
to this."
They put out the song with him and Sean Price from Sean Price's album. Like, bro, you're bootlegging a dead man's music that his family's eating off of. Like, you're just gonna put the song out there for free when it's clearly, you go to DSPs, shit costs 89 cents. You can't put 85 cents so that the Price family could get like some money in their coffers. You have to steal it on adultswim.com. That's what you want to do? Run scams? Notebook 1, Notebook 2? These ain't songs.
Got it.
I mean, hey.
Adult Swim, you're out of here. Get out. You're fired.
All right, Vince McMoulz. Adult Swim is definitely trafficked in this brand of hip hop that I'm not necessarily over the moon about.
I gotta say, I'm not shocked you never got into MF Doom at a younger age, because by the time they got their hands on MF Doom, they made him look corny.
Well, no, right, but that's why I stayed away, because I'm like,
he was rapping well.
I'm not saying he wasn't rapping well. I'm saying that the Doom fandom kind of became like the Rick and Morty fandom. Like a lot of...
and that's why I was kind of like apprehensive, because I'm like, I'm just going to let this be what it is, and I'll get to it when I get to it, because it seems to be well under control.
Doom is still... I mean, to this day, like his tone of voice has gotten a little bit like more hoarse and like deeper, but I think Doom is still capable of doing great work. I just think that was the moment where, like a different audience took hold of him and kind of turned him into something corny for a while, to the point where I think a lot of people forgot how dope Doom really is, and how, to go back and do these albums again, like we're going to do on this show, is just an example of like, you got to separate sometimes the noise from, the product itself.
Right.
True. Because it's like we were discussing, I just got so accustomed to seeing like the Mad Villain album artwork everywhere.
Right.
That it's like, okay, this is one of those things. Like I'll just when I'm ready, I'll get to it.
So were there only 2 like proper MF Doom albums? Where the artist said MF Doom?
Born Like This.
Well, technically that was
a Doom album.
Correct. Yeah, dropped the MF
Doom, not MF Doom, but it's. I mean, I don't think Doom and MF Doom are 2 separate people.
Right. Okay.
I read that he had a brief falling out with MF Grimm.
That was more than brief.
Oh, okay.
That was I was gonna add context to the album. I think a lot of this album is directed at MF Grimm and the Monster Island Czars.
Oh, we know Beef Rap is definitely directed at the Monster Island Czars.
Right. And I have the same theory about deep fried friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look, I feel
Doom
pressured
did
right
have a long
now.
falling out.
I feel pressured right now as the young man right now,
No
the
pressure.
Gambino fan, to say something, which will spoil. Because, like I said, we haven't gotten to this. We're recording this portion outside of the rest of the review. We're going to add it in. Moulz, should I spoil my deep fried friends review?
Spoil it. I want to hear it.
I mean, yes, because you're not really spoiling anything. They'll have heard Deep Fried Friends
Well, yeah,
reviews
it's only spoiling it for you, not the audience. They'll already have heard it by this point.
I don't care.
The song's a 10 out of 10. I cried when I heard this song.
What are you eating?
A zebra cake. Shout out to MF Doom. It's real
Come
fat
on,
man.
man. Doom wasn't eating in the booth.
Are we sure?
This man's clipping his toenails, eating zebra cakes.
Listen. Food. I'm getting in the spirit.
You're supposed to get the food before we record, bro.
Listen, Deep Fried Friends is a 10 out of 10. I feel like that is... I will have already talked about it as the audience at this point, but like that is such a concise and cutting and poignant and potent encapsulation of like human relationships.
Right.
Like I feel like he just nailed it.
Right.
It's just like it's great. This, and I must say this too, because my first experience with the sample on that beat was from the artist Charles Hamilton on the Pink Lava Lamp, the song Brighter Days. I gotta say, this blows that song out of the water. And it just, I'm glad because it's recontextualized that sample for me now, where this is now the predominant thing in my head when I think of that sample. And just, I mean,
do you get the genius behind what he did with the two samples?
The Houdini
and Ronnie Laws. Both songs with friends in the title.
Friends and Strangers.
He's a genius. He had Houdini come in and like rap with him. It's still mind blowing to this day.
Oh, I love when rappers interact with the sample.
Right.
So that
and
was
Doom
great.
Does that twice on this album. He also does it on the Hoe Cakes record.
Super.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes, amazing. He took the JJ Fad beatbox and just made that the drums of the song.
Yeah.
He's a mad scientist.
Which is great. And I think I wrote what I say about that. About Hoe Cakes. It was I actually wrote the beatboxing on here is inspired.
You got a bag of coins?
No, I got these Hoe Cakes right now, bro. The beatboxing on Hoe Cakes was inspired. Genius, I would say. Because if I had made the beat, I would have put like some dumbass drums on there that wouldn't have had nearly as much character as the beatboxing.
No, it's the actual beatbox is what he sampled from JJ Fad Supersonic.
Which is great.
Right.
It's great. Like it adds character to the record. When I think of this record, now here's the thing. I meant to say this earlier. I had the Special Herbs sets in like 2010.
Okay.
So like my first real time listening to I sought out his beats for some reason. Because I mean I was still rapping at the time, so I was always looking for beats. And I was like, oh, this stuff's great. I like this. But I hadn't heard him rap really yet. So I had like a lot of his beats for like pretty much the whole decade.
Right.
But I hadn't really heard him until 2016, where Lyle played Mad Villain for me. And that was my first time sitting down and listening to MF Doom.
Okay.
Like I would play that beat for years because I thought it was great. You know, I just walk around the house like a weirdo and just go super for no reason, you know? But, yeah. Just while we were talking about that, just figured I'd throw that
Did you ever hear this Special Blends mixtape?
With Grimm.
No, it was like he took classic hip hop songs and
I
put
read
them over
about
his
that.
own beat.
Yeah, he put the. Yeah, I have it.
Amazing. Like the Rough Rider song over Rapp Snitch Knishes.
I'll check that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be diving
I don't
into
think
everything.
I've heard this, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
I'll try to find it for
Oh,
you.
you haven't?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard this.
Yeah, he did amazing
I've heard
things.
like I know at the time they did like a leftovers. I've heard that
No,
because that
it was
has
like a whole blend tape.
Paul Barman song on it.
Right.
But look, see, there's even stuff I haven't heard.
I'll try to find it and send it to you.
You gotta love it, folks. We are barreling along here on Rap Rankings. We got 2 songs left. We're gonna let Jesse go. Thank you again for coming by. We'll see you again, I'm sure.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys.
And
Look, Jesse's gonna be a regular fixture.
I wanna be a regular.
Listen, we love Jesse over here, and remember, this is Rap Rankings, the show where every listen is like a first listen.
All right.
All right.
Yo, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all the other episodes, stop by rapprankings.com or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform.